my experience and finance. Thank you. Sharing with us business finance details. So how you want to start a business, the business you're doing, how can you move your business from ground zero to where you can become a very, very, very successful business person? She's somebody you don't want to make a session. In fact, this one I was like, oh my goodness, oh, I've been looking forward to this session, but don't worry, please just prepare your heart. And I beg you, if you need to do extra anything to get additional data for next week, I am already giving you a hint. I'm already giving you a hint so that you can be able to prepare yourself for that. Again, she would also be talking on personal finance, who and both business finance and personal come prepared. Then we'll also be looking at politics because politics is critical to changing nations. We have started initially looking at yourself, looking at how to improve yourself, looking at your relationship, and then looking at your production. When we went into production, we started because of how can you execute your dream. Sorry, Miriam, it's raining. Okay, sorry. The network is bad. This is part of the challenges, some of control, but we just have to keep doing this. But by all means, since we are recording, you will have access to the recording, so you can go over it again. But keep trying, and so you can stay with us. Miriam Makiola, sorry about that. Okay, so I was saying that we're doing politics next week as well. So politics is part of what we need to bring our nation to where we ought to it ought to be. So we're looking at the role of the youth, your role as a young person in the politics of your nation and how to build that nation. And then we'll also be looking at the class on mentorship. So those three classes are so vital. And so I urge you to prepare yourself maximally for it. Okay, so today, just in the next 45 minutes, we're looking at this all important subject matter, and that's the subject matter of spirituality. When we started Valley Academy initially, we didn't put that model. We were doing all the modules, and then we began to say, if we do not give you a complete package of what can actually deliver success to you, then we will not be true to you. Because it's not enough to say we want to train you on how to be hardworking, how to have proper value system, without helping you see the holistic picture of what life is and how to make a success of it. If we do not bring that full picture to you, we would not be true to you. So this is a subject matter that is all time true, not just but has been it's been proven to be very significant to the success of a man's life, even years before now, and will always be the subject of spirituality. So let me quickly share my slides with you as we progress on this topic. And I want you to be very open-minded. Spirituality is not about religion. Spirituality is a very critical subject matter to human life. And until we understand that as human beings, there is an aspect that is beyond us that we must pay attention to. We may find ourselves struggling even with our most our highest degree of competence and capacity, we can still find ourselves struggling. Okay, so here we go. Let me share my screen. If you are with me, let me hear you say I'm with you. In the chat, say we are with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. Let me take this now. And I'm very thank you. Great. Thank you. Okay, so we'll be doing this together, and I would like you to be open to ask the questions. Your questions, we're here to look at it together. We'll be able to answer your questions so that we can give perspective to what our lives should be. God bless you. Thank you for all the responses. So, excel and thrive. 6 is on spirituality. Remember, module 5 is on finance. We take next. Okay. So, yeah, so what's the core content? What do we want to do today? Why is this course content and objective is to understand the existence and the reality of the unseen realm. Okay, amazing. So I'm going to be asking you, how many people believe that there are realms that are unseen? We see about the stars, the moon, the land, the houses, you know, So what we're doing is we want to understand the existence of the unseen realm, the reality of it. How real is this that we cannot see? Okay, is man limited to what he is able to see? Or is there a realm that you can't see that influences man? That we also want to look at spirituality in life and in all human endeavors. We also want to understand the importance of God in the pursuit of goals. So there is, we can become so inundated with the concept of pursuing your goal. You have to be this, you have to be diligent, you have to, pursue, you have to have vision, you have to write it down, you have to, put all your effort. You can be so inundated with all that and then get carried away with the fact that so we want to look at it. What's the importance of the God factor in the pursuit of our goals, and then how to connect to God for ourselves. Sorry about that. How to connect to God for ourselves. Okay. My audio is not clear. Is that true, everybody? My audio is not clear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I need to get that feedback. Is my audio clear enough? Or should I increase the volume? I need the okay. I wanted my airport is what I'm thinking. Maybe let me. Can I go on? Can I go on? I need to know. Can I go on? I don't want noise from around, and that's why I'm using the airport. But if you can hear me, let me know. Or if I need to airport, can go in. All right then. Thank you. Great. Okay. Having said that, let's go back to the point. So I was what is let's go here. What is spirituality? Can somebody help me? When you hear about the word spirituality, what comes to your mind? Don't look at it. Don't look at my slide yet. By the way, let me bring you back. Let me hear your feedback. What spirituality? What do you understand by feedback? Put it in the chat room. I've already alluded to some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Is there an unseen realm? Is there a realm that is beyond you? Mr. Adeleke, kindly attend to it. Kindly attend to those little things. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. You said spirituality has to do with the supernatural. It's something beyond human comprehension. All right. Okay. Supernatural also talks about beyond human. It's a contact with the supernatural, Karim. Okay. What is the supernatural? Can we try to break that word down when you talk about if spirituality has to do with contact with the supernatural? Great, but what is supernatural assumption? By my own profession, we are taught to break down every word. Every word has a meaning, critical meaning. So, what's the supernatural? What's the supernatural? Can somebody help me? When you say something is supernatural, what does it bring to your mind? extraordinary, beyond the natural and mental. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So we're that when we say something beyond the natural, is extraordinary. It's not on the realms of nature. And when we say nature, we're talking about the plants, the living things, the air, the galaxies also, yes, because they are part of the nature, they are part of creation, they are part of what we see. Yes, science has brought us. Yes, so when we're talking about the supernatural, it means something deeper than the natural. And that's the critical. But number one first is for us to understand that there is a light. Spirituality is about the state and the quality of being dedicated to God. Yes, that's a particular dictionary definition. God, religion, or spiritual things of value, especially contrasted with material or temporal. So you have when you talk about spirituality, you're talking about something that is beyond the things that are tangible. It can even be beyond what you can touch. Are we together? So beyond. So when we talk about spirituality as it affects your plan, your vision, your desire to be successful, then you say that you are saying that there is an influence there's something that can have influence on your success beyond all that you are able to do, beyond your capacity to read, beyond your capacity to know somebody who can give you a job. There's beyond your capacity to be able to get to work and make money, beyond your capacity to be able to produce, beyond anything you can do for yourself. There is a dimension that is bigger than. Now, so spiritual so act with the belief extent that there is something bigger than man. I mean, it's so awesome. Even those who believe in science, and science tells us something beyond nature, absolutely. And science tells us that, okay, everything, even creation came from evolution and all kinds of scientific explanation to how the world began. Yes, so they talk about the Big Bang. Yes, but I have always questioned it. Those who even evolution, they tell us that the world began from one big bang. So the question is, the Big Bang was created by what? What made that Big Bang happen? There's something behind the Big Bang that resulted in man, even if you want to go about it in a scientific perspective. Now, so there's no way we can explain out the fact that there is a realm that is bigger than the natural realm. And over the years, we have seen it's been proven that realm that is mundane and the control of the physical. It involves believing the supernatural, and it's all about connection with God or the spirit world. And I put spirit world in this red uh, uh, text because I want us to understand, even when we're talking about the spirit world, it's not just one person. It's not just about one thing. It's another, how do I put it? It's another cosmos. It's another where there is hierarchy, where there is cadre, where there is authority, where there are laws, where there are principles. And so you will find a different dimension of what is regarded spirituality. So if you go online, for instance, and you type in what is spirituality, you will find a plethora of explanations, some of them going into metaphysics, and so trying to talk about how you can tap into the realm. Some of them you use yoga, the use of ideology to say you want to reach out to say to the spirit world. And so the question is, how do you even decipher what is important at the spiritual level? How do you know which is correct, which is right? What should you do? Because I want to bring it down to our level. Even here in Nigeria, as we are, and in Africa, we are all very familiar with the spiritual. If you just put on the TV and watch one Nollywood due to the existence of the spirit world. And it's so clear Even the young child, the small child that is born into the world today, in another in another 1 year, 2 years, it is beginning to watch Nigerian movies, is beginning to understand that there's one enemy somewhere, there's one witch somewhere. And I'm sure this is common for us even in Africa, as much as it is in other climes. And when we talk about spirituality, some people think it's just about Africa. And I need to understand it's not about even in amongst the Western world, there is the high dimension of spirituality. And I know some of us are familiar with things like if you watch even the American movies that have age in days, you see them refer to all kinds of things that relate to this thing. To kings in those days, there is no king that will not have a wizard or a witch that gives him eyes, that those things that are that are put there that has okay. But before we go further, I'm going to I want to ask you. I want you to put it in the how much what examples of understanding the way how from in Africa. I don't know. For us, for some of us, we grew up in towns or in villages where our great grandfathers had one idol or the other that they worship, one god or the other they worship. Yes, Um, Compact PC, please. Your hand is raised. I'll give you opportunity to talk later. For now, when we get to the session, we can take your comments. But for now, if you want to make a comment, then you can just put in the chat room. If I get it, I can flow with you. Then if I can respond to it, if it's not yet addressed or if you not address it before the end of it. Just hold on. Okay, thank you for your understanding. Put it in the chat room and then we'll be able to address that subject matter. Thank you. Okay. The other I wanted to I was saying you should put in your put in the chat room what you think about this subject matter in Africa, even in the US or in the Western world, in Europe, this perspective of spirituality. How have you, what do you see? What examples have you seen? Apart from religion that gives us access, you can mention a plethora of religion. In fact, the Google tells us that there are over 4,000 and something religions. Over 4,000 religions. So apart from religion, we see other kinds of activities of human beings that came as a result of a long to recognize the spirit or to connect with the spirit realm, and it manifests in different ways. So what we want to achieve in this class today is, as we have understood that if we all agree that there is a spiritual realm and there is a spirit realm that has a very strong influence on the outcome of our lives, how do we know how should we know which or what we should focus on as far as our spirituality is concerned, so that we remain in line and be able to achieve what it is that we should achieve. Now, let's see. Human nature. I want us to go to this next slide. I haven't seen any comment from you in the chat box, but let's look at the human nature. I want us to move quickly. This is very important. You see this picture here is so critical. And if you understand this about human nature, then you begin to understand why you must be very conscious of the subject matter spiritually. So man, which is creation, whether male or female, is fundamentally spirit. Everyone that God created on earth is fundamentally spirit. We are spirit, and then spirits that have body and that have mind. Spirits that have mind, soul, but exist in a body. Now, so successful living of a man is connected to this understanding. If you understand this tripartite nature of man, then you will be able to successfully. If you understand that man is fundamentally spirit, and then he has a mind, the mind of the man consists of it, or you either call it the mind or you call it the soul, is the faculty of reason. The mind is the faculty for your will. That's where what contains your will. It encompasses your emotions, it encompasses your intellect and your capacity to reason. So in the mind of a man, you have the emotion, you have the reasoning, you have the faculty for decision making. And that's why a lot goes on in that. In fact, if a person's mind is the mind of a man is the center that determines whether the person succeeds or not. Because there's a lot that takes place in that place. Decision making happens there. His reasoning happens there. His will happens there. His emotion is controlled there. And I remember, if you remember what we learned in the first talking about our personality and all that activity and understanding of our personality type and all that, everything there is dwelling within the mind of a man, and then you have the body. And it's important for us to understand that the man's body is what determines the existence of the man on earth. There is, even though man is fundamentally spirit, spirit cannot live on earth. Spirit actually require the nature, human nature to exist. Spirit can fly around, but they need to be embodied for them to be able to exist in the earth realm. Otherwise, they are banished to the spirit realm. But if they must be and operate on the earth realm, then they need a body. That's the same thing for man. And that's why when a man dies, they say the man has given up the ghost. Isn't it so? When the person says has given up the ghost, then the person, that means the spirit in that man has existed the body. The body can't go anywhere because it's earth. It's made from soil. It's made from sand. Earth. So it can't go anywhere. But the spirit exits the body and say, oh, he gave up the ghost. The body, as it were, ejected the spirit and left. So that's what happens. If you understand this, when a person dies, what we eventually do is carry the body and bury it. But the spirit of that person can no longer stay on earth. So he exits and exits to the spirit realm. Okay, that's another dimension. And then your person needs the mind also to operate on earth. You need your mind because your mind is activity safely. Now, man is fundamentally limited when it's not spiritually connected to God. So what it means is that his spirit is limited because it's not connected to a higher dimension of spirit. He will only now be operating on the earth realm. He'll be operating based on his mind, his faculty, his knowledge, his skills that he's able to acquire, his competencies. Yet that's the only thing that he will be able to operate with if it's not connected, his body. So if his body is tired too, it's just limited. Man is fundamentally when your spirit man is not connected to God. Now you see, that's why the limit of a man, if man is just within, look at this cycle. If all you have activated is your body and your mind, you'll be operating in this space. I don't know if you're seeing are you seeing the console of my laptop? Hello. If you are there, let me see, let me hear you say I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here in the chat room. Great. Ooh, if you want you to look at the image that I have here, if man spirit is not strong, is not connected to God, is not alive, you'll be operating in this place. In this place. Sorry. Yeah, even at this level. And that means you're limited. Look at the small sphere that you'll be able to do. But if a man's spirit is alive, then you'll be operating at this bigger level. And then I can say that person is a healthy person. You are spiritually healthy when you are operating at this level where your spirit, your mind, your body It's actually strong and interconnected. Okay, that's that image. Now, so very important thing. Uh, thank you for your comments. Now I know I'm with you. Great. Yes, it says as human beings, our needs are endless, and that's very important. I don't know how many of us are familiar with the Maslow theory of need, Abraham Maslow's theory of need. I know we are graduates, we are excited. If you are, let me say I am. I want to know if you are familiar with the Abraham Maslow theory of need. This Abraham Maslow theory, thank you. Yes, tells us that man's need, the need of man in different categories. And this theory has been found to be so true, and it's become the basis for a lot of things in life, including jobs, things relating to psychology and all that. But we want to look at it as man's need endless. You keep having one thing or the other, no matter what you have now, tomorrow you will get dissatisfied. You want something else because there is a hierarchy that you need. There is a hierarchy of the needs of man, beginning from his bodily needs, what I will eat, that's fundamental. What I will eat, this is the base. And they have everybody is to eat. Some people are this survival, this is the base, the survival base. Eat, drink, clothes, that's it, the bodily need. And even in the Bible, we're told Jesus said, everybody needs. God said, I am aware that you have need of food, you have need of clothes, you have what to eat, you have to what you will drink. These are realities. And it's important for us to know that even this need is fundamental, and God everything needs. Nigeria today, insecurity is one of our biggest challenges. And that's why our nation remains one of the poorest. And in fact, statistically, Nigeria is the capital of poverty as a nation in the entire world. We have the largest, over 135 million people live below the poverty level. And the poverty level is costing at the things that are leading to poverty, insecurity. But that level of where social health care, and then ego needs. So by the time you begin to have all these things, you have a good job, at least you can secure a good place for yourself. You are not under Boko Haram. You are not living within where there's Boko Haram problem. There's no, so at least you can give minimum security for yourself. And social needs comes up. I want to make sure I go to school. I want to have, all those things. To think it's ego. People are moving beyond the issue of just, at a time in life, you now begin to think that I just don't want to have food. I want to be able to drive a Lexus 350. I don't just want to drive a car. I need a car that will fit my status. So all that comes in. And really, there is nothing wrong with having those things because these are naturally things that we begin to desire and they begin to plan to say, I want to have. And in fact, sometimes some people have defined success around this thing. But beyond this thing, then you move to the level where you begin to think of self-actualization. That's when people begin to struggle for power. It's no more just that I want to drive a car, it's that I want to control what happens. Self-actualization. I want to be the MD. I want to be the top decision maker. I want to become the governor. I want to be the counselor. I want to be the one. I want to actualize myself. This is where people want to begin to have and be the one to determine what happens to other people. But there is a on this, and that's why it's a point that is a spiritual. You see people go even after they have what you begin to say, what are they looking for? Okay, and then they begin to think, I want to have spiritual power. And you see them moving into things like you either join cults, you want to Right? You're not joining cults. You think, look at this class. US, there are different kinds of cults groups that some of them even look like very technological groups, but you know that there's something else that is underlining power is going to look for it. Why did we go this far? Why are we going here? I want you to understand that beyond the need to have your food, you want to have job, no matter as you rise in life, your need will change. And if you don't understand, you will get to the point where we have to take decisions that have to do with your spiritual aspect. You will have to take decisions that have to do with your knowledge of spirituality. You have to take the decision whether conscious who unconsciously are joining cause because they are from the MD of the company, but they did not know that underlining being a part of that MD thing is that you are signing up with a spiritual cause, and they didn't know. Why? They were ignorant. They didn't understand that as you rise, these demands begin to come. Now, does that mean that you should not aspire to be great? No. The issue is that you must understand, and that's why we're bringing it to light, that whether you are of it, this is something that you will have to, that will affect you. This is a matter you will have to face. This is a matter that will confront you at some point in your life, and so you need to take a decision. You need to have the understanding on how to deal with it, whether now, in fact, the earlier you deal with it, the better than waiting when you get to such position. Now, so I'm going to ask you, in fact, I was thinking of asking you to give examples of your need, but I've almost mentioned some of them. Yes, but spiritual needs are universal. Spiritual needs are universal. I'm saying it again. Spiritual needs are very universal. I'm saying it's not, don't think it is African, don't think it's just because Nigerians are very religious. Spiritual needs are universal. Where people try to pretend that there are no spiritual needs. No, it's not that there are no spiritual needs. They have alternatives. They have created alternatives that fill in that spiritual gap. Not that it is not existing. Spiritual needs are universal. That is why there is a lot of attempt at manipulation. So, what are spiritual needs? What are spiritual needs? Important. What are the spiritual needs that we have? Okay, the critical. Can give me an example of spiritual needs? What are the spiritual needs you have? Let me hear from you. Chat room, please. Chat room. I'm waiting. Let me know if you can rest or spiritual. Okay, to be loved, to have peace. Awesome. Great. I like that. The need for peace, discernment. Wow. That's great. You know, I like that. Ademoke, would you like to speak to the subject of discernment? I like that. Would you like to speak to what do you mean by discernment as a spiritual? You can unmute. Ademoke, can you unmute and forgive and breathe? Can you unmute and speak to the subject matter of discernment? Are you having a challenge unmuting?
Yes, ma'am, it's one.
Okay, okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you speak to us about this?
Yeah, discernment is you being able to know what is right from what is wrong in the spiritual aspects. Yes, ma'am.
Great, thank you so much. And you know, this is so big. It's so big because we're in a world where there is an attempt to confuse. There's an attempt to get your attention. There is a jostling and a competition in the spirit realm for your attention. So there's always things that look like it's right. And so we must be able to discern. We must be able to say this is right and this is wrong. It's so big. To know that in those days, there are times it is very. My mom, when we were younger, and when we talk about marriage, my mom will say that in our own days, before you marry, the parents will take you to some people, maybe like a prophet, and say they will tell you to bring the names of all the boyfriends or men that are interested in getting married to you. Tell you to put down their name. So they want to help you decide which one should I marry, which one should I not marry. I think that's a critical decision to get to the decision as fundamental as marriage. To now say that, how do you know whether you are to marry this person or not to marry this person? Discernment is a very, 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 very critical need. Wisdom, thank you. Wisdom is also another spiritual need that we have. How do we, and what is wisdom? Wisdom is knowing what to do, knowing how to do it. Wisdom is knowing the right decisions to make, your capacity to be able to say, this is do now, do next. Forgiving. Wow, you guys have blown my mind. I like this. Examples of spiritual needs. Yes, somebody said need to discover purpose. Yes, because you know that it is God. You didn't create yourself. You didn't create yourself. Great. You didn't create yourself. So God created you. And if God created you, then you want to know, why did he create me? So purpose discovery is also a spiritual. Yes. See, the weather is getting funny around my end. It's about to rain. Okay. But so why do we, you see why we need to be able to discern, to be able to have spiritual understanding? Because if we do not have this spiritual, if we don't have these answers to all these fundamental questions about our life, we can actually make mistakes. We can go on the wrong trajectory. And I have seen many people who have at it were had major changes in their life, in the journey of their life, because of the absence of spiritual understanding. They have perhaps gotten into wrong relationships. Some of our of people that are connected to us that we know, some have married twice, married 3 times, because they keep making the mistake of to marry. And this thing is so fundamental. In fact, I remember when my mom used to use that example, say, hey, so how are you sure the prophet will tell you the correct thing? But as we grew, I began to understand why. Because limits of the knowledge and understanding they had, they just think, just go to the prophet so that he will give you answer. And then some of them have suffered things, and even the prophet will tell you to go and marry someone else for another reason, because there are all kinds of manipulation. So here is why we must understand the need to have a personal understanding of the spirituality and how to connect, how to ensure that we take advantage of life. Thing, and here is a very significant thing. I always say life is spiritual. Some people tell you, no, don't spiritualize everything. And no, we must understand that life is first and foremost spiritual. Everything in life is first created and originated from the unseen. It is the unseen. So I don't know how many people can explain how a child is formed in the womb. Even the medical doctors will tell you, they will try, biology tells you spermatozoa and ovary now, but fertilization, who can explain it? So everything, including human life, is first spiritual. Everything. If you just settle into your mind that life is spiritual, then you understand that the first thing you must do is get your spirit man. Remember from that 3 cycles that we looked at together, get your spirit man to first be effectively alive, because that is what then coordinates the other two, your mind and your body. you invest in, if you invest in what's it called? You invest what's it in learning, you invest, you have a PhD, you have gone and traveled the world, you have understanding of all those things, and you have a life understanding of the future, you will end up with a casualty. Because someone who has understanding of the future, he may not be a professor. The Babalawo in your village is not a professor. You have to know how to, or you can know how to control your life. If you are not empowered, that yes, someone, a neighbor, a former neighbor came visiting us yesterday and was talking, he lost his wife and was giving us, my husband and I, an explanation of how they went when the late wife was very ill. They went to the village and they called a lot of, all these people gathered around and they began to tell her, the husband, that they will trust him. And he's the one that is responsible for the woman's death. By the time he went, I'm like, so much that goes on in dimension. And unfortunately, especially those of us that are going to school, contemporary, we want to be like America, we want to be very westernized, and then we deny and tell ourselves that no, we're not spiritual, everything is not spiritual. And that way, what you are doing actually is making yourself vulnerable. If you understand first and foremost that life is first spiritual, then you are able to address every issue that comes your way from a threefold perspective. Then your mind, and then if there's any aspect that has to do with your body, then you are there. So if you understand that life is first spiritual, you are equipped more effectively to deal with the challenges that come your way. Now, very critical. The Bible tells us in Hebrews chapter 11, it says, things that we see don't come from things that appear. What it means is that things that we see actually originate from the unseen. Thing originating. And if you understand that, then you see, even I want to become a doctor, you must first say to yourself, I want to become a medical doctor. So you must end the stages. You must be able to picture yourself as a medical doctor. Your mind must be able to accommodate the fact that I will be a medical doctor. For as long as you have not first conceived this and acquire that picture in your mind, strong enough to, then you see that every step you take to want to go in that direction will look like it will never work. Why? I want to, the grace of God, I can tell you that this is something that I have practiced. I know that the Spirit is the very most fundamental thing that we must pay attention to. So this is a very important hierarchy I want to know. When we understand this spiritual hierarchy, it helps us to then discern the subject matter of discernment that Adimu carries. It's so critical. How then do we take the right decision? How then do we know where to align as far as spirituality is concerned? And as I said earlier, spirituality is not about religion. Spirituality is about understanding of the unseen realm, and then the powers and the hierarchy on everything that operates in that realm. You can really, as a man, balance both the spirit and then the earth realm for you to succeed. Because until you have a critical connection with the spirit that balances with the earth realm, you will find yourself struggling with so many things on the earth realm, because everything that you see that happens on the earth realm operates from the future. Now, so here is, I was trying to do, because I really couldn't find any image that will properly depict what I wanted to show you. If we were in a physical class, God gave me that I learned from over the years, my own experience, and I want to share with you because I know it works. Here, on this pinnacle and pyramid of spiritual hierarchy, undisputedly, we have God, the one and only wise God. That there is no one that compares Every other power bows to him. Every other name bows to him. Creation was done by him. We understand that the world were created by him, and there's been nothing else that has contested that that understanding. Even over the years, is at the pinnacle. And Ephesians 6 gives us that understanding that we have saying, look, there is the flesh and blood. When it says flesh and blood, it's talking about the earth realm. So it's not about, don't be deceived. Everything is not just about the earth realm. There is a realm that is on the earth realm. Because on that realm, there is an hierarchy. And it tells you that the order of this hierarchy, God, and next realm, the next level should be man, ideally. Man. Because after God, when he created man, he wanted man to be in his image. He wanted man to share his power, his character, his personality. He wanted man to dominate just good in the spirit realm. Because God was on top in the spirit realm. He wanted to create man on earth to rule the creation, rule everything, organize, put order, dominate, create, improve, co-create with me. That's what God was looking for when he created Adam. Everything original, this hierarchy in the after God, man. And then after man, you have the angels. No, so some people think angels are higher than God. True. I think angels actually will submit to man. It's not the other way. It's not man that submits to angels. Angels submit to man. Because if we take our bearing from the scriptures, which we know is the guideline for us as Christians and as anyone wants to understand, the Bible is a critical book that we must always make reference. So we see that what he did was to put angels under, so that if we wanted help, and every man has angels, so he created angels that people do. So some people call it guardian angels. The angels are supposed to answer to every man. They answer to you. Hello, are we together? If you're together, I want to hear you. I want to see you in the chat and tell me I'm with you. I don't want to get, yeah. This is a very fundamental issue we're discussing. Now, so after God, on this hierarchy, we have man, and then after man, we have the angels. The angels are to serve you. The angels are to, well done, thank you. Yes, Ademoke is here, Esther is here, Olabanji will be great. Who else? I want to be sure you are here. Let me see you. Let me see your hand. Let me with you. I'm following. Okay. So after man, we have the angels. And as I've mentioned, the angels are to serve us. That's why some of the problems we have, that there's a lot, like I mentioned, there's a lot of confusion or an attempt, not confusion, an attempt to confuse, to create problems, taking the place of God, so you should bow down to angels. Actually, God created angels to serve. They are like his agents, they are his messengers, his mercenaries. He gives them assignments and says, don't do this. And then he assigns engage them to get what you want. Wow, so sorry. It's the network. Charles, is the rain. I understand. Is the weather. Okay. So here, apart from uh, so we now have what we call rulers. So in the hierarchy, there's what we call rulers. When we rulers, who are these rulers? I explain to you that when it comes to the earth realm, the cosmos, and in the cosmos we have the world order. In this world order, there are people who rule. They are ruling the spheres of influence. On every sphere of influence. I think Mr. Moy on last Saturday adheres to the 7 spheres of influence that rules the world. The 7 spheres of influence talked about the education sphere, you have the entertainment sphere, we have the religious sphere, we have the business sphere, we have the I think business also economy, we have and politics, and like 7 of them. Yes, those spheres are the spheres. Anything you want to do on earth today is under any of those categories. Anything falls within those 7 spheres. And if you understand this 7 spheres, you understand that decision making, decision making comes by those who are rulers. So we call them rulers. They are not just, they are spiritual authority manning those spheres so that they control what happens in that industry. Media, yes, critical. Media is another very critical sphere. They tend to determine what happens in this sphere. And they are spiritual. It's not just the spiritual dimension to it. You have powers and authorities. Then you have at this time, and then you have those that we call spiritual wickedness in high places. You have undertaken people like witchcraft and wizardry and all their agents from Babalawo or whatever name we call them, witch doctors. They're all in this category of spiritual wickedness. But the critical thing you must understand is that on top of this hierarchy, as far as spirituality is concerned, is God, the creator of the universe. He rules and reigns in the affairs of men. He is on top. He determines who is down, who is low. However, I the subject to man. But when man is not properly connected to God in a relationship with him, man can actually be under this total down. Because if you are not properly connected to God, then you are susceptible to this all other. What is above what as a man is our connectivity. If you cannot, you can't, there is no gain saying about it. Except a man is properly connected, and I say man, meaning that your spirit man is connected to God, you are going to be subject to this other authority in the spirit. And that's why you see all kinds of manifestations now, so a person can in businesses and he will borrow money and go and start a business and do it a big way, and before you know it, everything collapses. Say, and then they will go to his father or he goes to the village and they will tell you somebody that did something that said you are not going to talk. And then again, and I say that because I know these are our realities, not just in Africa, but it's our reality. That you can find yourself struggling in something and say, but I'm making all the effort, I'm doing everything. I've gone to fact, I work how many hours a day, I invest in personal development, I have taken time to go to have that. You look at them and wonder, why can't this person be employed? But there are so many factors that is other than the physical. And that's where the issue is our connectivity. Now, if we do this class and show you every other thing, and will not show you this critical issue of your connectivity, then we would have deceived you. We would have deceived you. And I tell you the truth, this thing, some don't come out to say it to you, but if you meet those you admire, those you see on top, and you want to admire them, meet them, and they will also tell you every other thing apart from telling you the spiritual dimension, because they want to be politically correct. They don't want to be criticized as being religious. They want to why from entire that is so when a man falls out of his connection with God, he goes back to the lowest cadre, lowest level on the pyramid in care until he finds his way back to connected with God. And so yeah, the question then is, this is what I have tasted and I must share with you. This is where I know the Bible is a book of life for living. Is not a historic book, even though it has a lot of historic relevance and content. But it's not just a book of life. And we know from the scriptures that the Bible says that Jesus is the way. When we through Jesus, without equivocation, when we surrender our life and then we say, Lord, yes, I want to become this, but I first acknowledge and give you your place. I acknowledge that which you have done. I acknowledge and say, okay, I want to lead my life. And then if you read the Bible, you see the way God, even when Jesus was on the earth, I think it was in Matthew 5, the Beatitudes, you see, the God is blessed are they that are that are kind, blessed is this, blessed is that, and the entire Beatitude showed us it was more like Jesus saying, this is the way to live, this is the way to connect to God. Clearly, evil of another person, working evil against another person, and expect to prosper. No, you can't be in an organization and where because you want to become the top, you are doing things to pull other people down. I think that is success. Your success is not in pulling other people down. And that's what Jesus stands for. That's what the gospel is saying. You can't invest in, you can't do a business that invests in destroying other people's life and expect to prosper. Some people and you can. So a life that is surrendered to Jesus is superior to all kinds of situations. Okay. Now, here is what happens: the spiritual man. So when a man is, you are only measured not by all, measured not by any religious affinity. Forget it. Let's forget it. It's not about any spiritual. It's not about any church or religious affinity. But you have submitted yourself to God and to His principles, His values, His values. System, the value system of God that guides our life, that guides our business, guides our family life, guides marriage, guides everything, guides society. It's so the Bible is so what we need. So the degree that we submit to the word of God, that we can say or be sure that we are spiritual. And then when you are spiritual, you are also submitted to the leadership of God. their soulmate. This is what determines spirituality. This is what determines spirituality. And I may not be able to stick to whatever obtains in any other. So what I am certain of, that when you submit yourself to God's word, then you have gone to that dimension. That's what gives you access to the spirit dimension. That's what gives you access to be able to handle practical issues of life. That's what you be able to overcome some of the major challenges that over the years have pulled many people down. I want to encourage you to create and ensure that you have a personal relationship. One of the things that we are doing with this program is to give you the liberty to be able to make your choices. And then at the end of class or next week Saturday, it comes to give up your choice as far as the kind of mentorship you want. We have 4 levels of mentorship that we're offering, including mentorship, career mentorship, those who want to do financial mentorship, and personal mentorship. So if the degree or anything you want, you are free to opt and say, oh, I need this area, I need mentorship in this area. And then we can address your issue as a personal need. That's part of why we're here. I want to wrap up this session. I think, and you are take your questions. I want to wrap up the session by asking you to get ready, opting. We need to know where you are at and what you want, how you want to improve, you want to develop yourself. Because I know if you start taking questions down, there will be some of you have a plethora of issues that you are confused about as far as spirituality is concerned. So yes, we may not be able to get everything on this platform, but we will be able to continue speaking with you even after the program, after this session, and after the next point where you can gain ability in all these areas. All right. Thank you. I think that's the last slide. Yes. Yes. Thank you for your time, Mr. Sandenike.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Barrister. I'm sorry I might not be able to use my video for now. I'm so sorry. Please bear with me. Please, if you know you're ready to bear with me, please put it in the chat box that I will bear with you. Sorry, that
We
was
are
on a light
bearing with
note.
you.
Please, please do. I'm sorry. My son is in the background and it's going to, affect the video. So I'm sorry. Oh, thank you very much. See my people now. I wish this class was actually, I wish this program was actually, on site so that I can see these people. See Olabamiji, Busayomi. Look at Charles. Look at people engaging. Karim, Oluwatobiloba. You guys are awesome. Sometimes ago I was just thinking about it that why did our president, Muhammadu Buhari, if you're a Nigerian, if you're not a Nigerian, please understand with us. I was wondering, I said, why did Muhammadu Buhari say that Nigerian youths are lazy? And we actually have intelligent people in Nigeria. We have intelligent youth. I've seen it. And then, another thing I want to say before I go ahead and ask questions, for our question and answer for Barrister Sholape, is that we know that we are intelligent, but there's something I want us to understand is that it's not enough for you to have, let me use what we're used to. It's not enough for you to say you have an Apic, this Apic toilet cleaner. And then people come to your house and all that they can see is a dirty water closet. And you're like, no, don't bother about that. I actually have Harpic in the house. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you have the Harpic. What we see, the result we see is that your toilet is clean. So it's not enough to have all the knowledge, all the intelligence, all the brilliancy. What we want to see is that we want to see you. For example, I want to see somebody like Aderonke now, seeing Aderonke on TED Talk. Let's use these things. We have them. Let's not hide them. And if you feel like it's because I don't know who I am, I'm not self-aware, we've done that. We've done that in our first module, how you can be aware of yourself. Somebody spoke, sorry if I didn't remember your name, was it Oluwatomisin, that spoke about being a phlegmatic, understanding that was what she saw, being a phlegmatic and all that. She will understand her weakness. She will know how to relate with other people. So please, it's not enough to be brilliant and be sharp and be smart. Let it show in your life. Let it show in your success. You understand? So that's why we're bringing this Value Academy together. All right. I don't want to waste most of our time. Please, question and answer for Barrister Sholakwe. Question and answer on spirituality. What is it that you don't understand? What is it you want her to buttress on? Or what is it that has been bothering you when it comes to spirituality? Please, let's ask our questions. If you don't ask questions, I will point at you. I will point to. I like to call people out. Yes. Questions, comments. Oh, Oluwatobiloba, okay. I am unmuting you so you can talk now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I want to ask about the spirituality. She made mention of if a body dies, the spirit leaves the body. Now, does it go in line with someone's belief? What if I don't believe in that process?
Okay.
Like the Constitution of Nigeria now, ignorance is not an excuse. Does it imply in spiritual realm?
Ignorance is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse in the Constitution of Nigeria. Like, because you don't know this is one way and you pass it one way, it's against the law. Now, does it involve in the spiritual? Because I don't believe that if I die, my body, my spirit leaves my body. Must it happen to me? Is it tends to happen?
All right, okay. Barrister, do you understand the question, ma'am?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, okay.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
My network.
Okay.
My network was fluctuating. Yes. So, but I didn't hear the question. If you can summarize and tell me the question.
Okay. It said that you mentioned that when you were talking that sometimes people's spirits leave their body. He said, what if it doesn't agree with that? Like, for example, there's some things in Constitution and then that some people don't agree with. They said, what if you don't agree with some of these things about spirituality? Where does that take you? What does that does it mean that you have to accept it?
Okay, so as I mentioned before, when it comes to spirituality, there have been different perspectives. So you can have, some people have, if you look at, what's it called? If you go online, you find, I've seen different types of spirituality. You will find all kinds of books, things that talk about the spirit realm. And I've also explained to you that there are hierarchies as far as spirituality is concerned. So you can have different perspectives. Somebody can say, oh, I don't believe in this. Oh, I don't believe in that. The issue is that what is the basis of your belief? Because it's not enough to say, everybody can say, I choose to believe this, I don't want to believe this. But the question is, what is the basis of your belief? So in the Constitution that you gave an example, and I like that because in every sphere or any territory, there is what we call, there are laws, there are rules. And then those laws and rules are guided by a particular constitution or book or a collection or anywhere you put those documents guidelines together. There are laws that govern every territory, both physical and spiritual. So if in the Constitution you say you don't agree, that you don't agree to it does not necessarily make it wrong, and it does not exempt you from the consequences. So you can say, I don't agree, I don't believe this. Well, it does not mean that you are exempted from the effects of that thing. As a matter of fact, if you don't believe it and you don't agree with it, you can still be a victim. Somebody can say, so I don't believe that prayer is answered. Joe, I don't waste my time. I'm not praying. What am I praying? Who am I praying to? Yes, He may not pray, but will that remove the problems he's having? He can continue to keep having that challenge without solving it. So it's not, you have the liberty to say, I choose this, I like this. The question is, what's the basis of what you believe? And I did mention to you that the basis of what I'm sharing with you is basically on the scriptures, it's on the Bible, because that's the fundamental book that is a guideline for me as a person, and then for Christians generally, and then for those who actually want to see God, who want to understand spiritually from the perspective of God and from Jesus Christ. So you'll find it. So if you say, I don't agree with this, okay, do you have explanation for it under horoscope, for instance? So horoscope will tell you that there are stars, and stars, this star, this person will talk about the future, and they say they want to look at your palm and tell you what the future holds for you. The question is, would you rather hang your life on horoscope or hang your life on something that gives you hope about a better future? So those are the things. It's actually an open world when it comes to the spiritual aspect. It's open because nobody will force you to believe something, whether it exists or not. No, but you will see the effects and the consequences from those who are already in it. Thank God it's not only you. You can look at people who are there, what has been the outcome of those who are doing it. Yoruba will say, any man dash of money, for those who are not Yoruba, let me explain. Say, if somebody is going to throw a cloth for me wearing, is it fine? I want to look at them. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
So I want to understand whether this thing this person is wearing, is it fine? So if it's going to sew for me, let me be sure the kind of thing is going to sew. Is it going to sew me cloth like carpenter, or it will sew me like a fashion designer? So those are the things. And the good thing is that we are not neat, or better still, we didn't fall. There are people that have gone ahead of us. And so we can look at the things that they have done, look at examples, and that's the good thing about the Bible. It's a compendium of books of books, yes, as I said before, that has both historical value and also spiritual value, because there are people who have existed before, who have kept a record of things that happen, and then you can compare, you can contrast, you can find out, is this true? Can it be true? Is it true today? Was it true yesterday? Does it have validity for tomorrow? Sometimes you think to look at and then make intelligence and say, okay, go. I heard somebody say once, I said, God, if it's true that this thing you wrote in the Bible is true, it happened to me too. This thing I'm reading, if it is true that you actually feel, okay, the person had this tuberculosis. I said, if it's true, now all these people they say Jesus healed him, like it's true. I'm not even going to meet any pastor. Heal me now. And he said, that was the last time. Yeah, after then he went to the hospital and he said, and nobody prayed for him. But because he wanted to verify and challenge it. This thing they are saying, I need to prove it in my life. Is it true? He went back to the hospital, all the medication he used to take, everything, he checked, and he declared free from tuberculosis. And that was the last. So it's not about just taking what somebody says. Verify. Look at it and verify. Can this be true? Is it true? Is this the way to go? Then I don't know if I've been able to answer Oluwatobi's question. But I
Oluwatobi, are
think
you
the chat box.
satisfied? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
He said he is okay. There's another question.
I saw in the chat box. Are we taking?
Esther
Should I go
Molara.
ahead and look at that? Someone was asking, yes, but God does not like horoscope and sorcery. Yeah. Okay, so that's my point. I don't want to. This generation, you young people, you don't want somebody to tell you, do it like this. you want to check for yourself. Is this true? And my mother too was going to church and we see proper. Yes, look, and that's why I'm telling you that don't just say you want to take somebody said it and be religious and be dogmatic. I'm saying to you that truly, if you want to compare what does the Bible say compared to horoscope, I say which one you do like? Is horoscope true? Does it hold validity that guarantees your future? Can it secure your tomorrow? Does it give you hope for tomorrow? That's the question. And that's what you must carry, because you see, one of the things we need, when we talk about spiritual needs, you are enlightened, you need peace, we need hope, we need this. Look at it. So when you go do some spirituality, they tell you to go and bring, okay, we are here now. When somebody tells you go and bring your mother, and then we will use your mother for something, and then you will now become peaceful. And you ask yourself, what kind of spirituality will require me to kill my mother before I will be happy? Does it give you hope tomorrow? Is it just, you know it? Then you can tell that no, this cannot be God. This can't be true. You may be desperate. They may say it has solution for your future, but the question is, look at the process. Look at what they are demanding from you. Look at the conditions attached to it and things you are supposed to submit. Does it portray that this is genuine, or can this hold very significant consequences even for my future?
Okay.
So that's
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Matt. There's another question. Said, what is the dichotomy between being spooky and being spiritual?
Someone is spooky. Is it? I'm not sure. Please help me with the English. Does it mean that the person always
Spooky, most of the time,
weird,
maybe people that are frightened. There are some people that are spooky, they are frightened. And what's the difference between that and being spiritual?
They are weird. You okay? So is being spiritual, like I said, is not in the physical. Spirituality is not about how you present yourself, because you see, some people think being spiritual means then you have to wear white garments, and then you will meet somebody and say, I just saw something about you now, as I see something is going to happen to you. In fact, don't travel tomorrow, don't travel next week, an accident is going to happen. And then you put all those things. No, that's not spirituality, because spirituality is not just about you having access to the future or to the spirit realm. The spirituality that is critical is that you understand how the spirit realms work and how you can rule it. And it is not in your dressing, it is in understanding that guides action. It's an understanding that guides lifestyle. It's an understanding that guides what you do and how you live, the decisions you take. Now, so when you are spiritual, it doesn't mean that everybody around you now, you now begin to make them feel awkward. Every time you go somewhere, you now say, I have to tell you, spiritually, I just got another. No, there is a way that you are spiritual does not mean you make people around you feel awkward. No. And even if you have an understanding and you have a perspective, for instance, now, if I work in a company where I am not the boss and I'm an employee somewhere, and even though I have an understanding that I think some things are happening in this place that is not, I'm sensing that spiritually is not right. It's not for you to now go there to the office and then you say you carry your Bible and say, oh, everybody is ringing bells. Or is there anybody that wants to do evil for me in this place? Jehovah will scatter you. They will attack you. They will attack you. Fact. So it's not to make other people uncomfortable. What that tells you is that you then begin to take the right steps. Now, if I have this understanding and I'm working in this organization where I feel that maybe I have colleagues that I think they are engaging some spiritual things, and you have, like I told you, understand the authority level, understand the spiritual hierarchy. Now, when you understand spiritual hierarchy, ensure that you're connected to God. Of course, pray when you need to pray, engage the word of God to give you confidence, but you don't have to go to the public and say, I speak to you now. You can do that in the corner of your room. The Bible talks about the fact that when we pray and we pray in the corner of our room, we say God will give you the answer openly. You don't have to go open and then say, I'm praying like this. Oh, no. You don't. That's not the spirituality we are talking about. It doesn't make you that you are spiritual does not mean you now become unsociable. You cannot talk. You become spooky. Everybody is afraid to talk to you. You can't communicate with people on normal things, on social things. You can't, no, it just means that your life is guided. You have insights, you have understanding, you have discernment, you know what is right from wrong, and then you can take your decision. So when somebody says, oh, I want you to follow me to somewhere, and you feel very strongly that I don't want to go out, and you can simply say, oh, I'm sorry, I have to tell you that, but I don't intend to go out. You don't have to say, I saw a vision that in the road, they will have to go. That would be extremely awful. Do you understand what I'm saying? You must understand that.
Okay. All right, that was Oluwabusayomi that asked that question. I hope you understand. She has another question too. She said, what is the diet for spiritual growth?
Wow. This is very critical. Diet for spiritual growth. Now, I will ask you, what is the diet for physical growth? If
Balanced
the
diet.
baby balanced diet, what's that balance? The balanced diet has to have the combination of all the necessary nutrients that is required, minerals, and vitamins, the carbohydrates, and you need to. And as you grow, the balance that is required changes, because the balanced diet that a child needs is a balanced diet that has more protein, because it has a growth level. When you need becoming a baby and you become an adult, they tell you to drop on your protein and you should be taking more of vegetables, more of fruit, more of salad as you go. Why? Because at that level, what you need, what your body requires is different. The same way it is when it is spiritual. When it's spiritual, you need to feed your spirit man. Remember, we talked about the man being tripartite, spirit, soul, and body. When we go to school, we do these programs. What we are doing is we are feeding our mind, we are feeding our intellect, our capacity to reason. We are feeding our body when we eat food. What do you feed the spirit with? If you are a spiritual person, then you feed your spirit with spirit food. What is spirit food? For us that are believers, the word of God is critical. Remember, I said as the final slide that the degree to which you submit yourself to God's word, which is the constitution, the rules, the guidelines, what you do, that's the feeding, that's the food that your spirit man requires. You also need to stay in connection with God through prayers. That's how to grow. That's how to, the more you are communing, the more you relate with the spirit realm, the more you grow in the understanding of the spirit. The more you relate with the word of God, the more you grow in the understanding of the spirit. That's how spiritual life is. Spiritual life, you feed with God's word, then feed with the constitution. Dwell on what that realm, what guides the realm, the understanding of the word. There are all kinds of okay, let me just stop at that point. But basically, we must constantly stay in connection and feeding with the word, and then in communion, in prayer.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. We have another question. The person said, what's your take on zodiac signs?
As a matter of fact, it doesn't fall within my own value system at all. When I talked about zodiac signs, they are also part of what you have on the horoscope. And yes, so those who do horoscope are those who they are on. For me, my understanding of them, they are under the hierarchy that I showed you earlier, under I think it's the spiritual wickedness level. What they do is use access to spirit realm to understand people's life. Now, that was also adduced to, because if you look at ancient England, in there some of their history, you will find that most of those sufferers all use this horoscope and zodiac to look into the future, look at people's palm to read. And then we also find that in the scripture, the Bible talks about stargazers when Jesus was born, were those who are able to look at the star of a child, look at the star of anyone that is born, and be able to say, oh, this person is going to be great, this person is going to become this person is going to become that. Most of the time, those who do that, they use it to access into people's life and future, and then to manipulate. And that's why I don't subscribe to it, because it's not just enough to access into the future of a person. You must be able to say, how do I access? And horoscope can or zodiac can give you and say you are this, you are that, and you are going to be beautiful or you are going to become this. But it doesn't show you how you will get there. What are the steps you're going to take? What's the wisdom required? How do you become in line? How do you fulfill that purpose? How do you have that peace? That's where that so it doesn't fall within my own value system at all. And I don't agree with it.
Okay, thank you, Ma. I hope that is satisfactory to Aderonke. Okay, not Aderonke. Who
Oh,
asked that question?
sorry.
Abdul Fattah. Okay, we have one last question. It
Okay.
said, being morally right, does it also mean one is spiritual? Because people tend to call spirituality when one is always
More.
against a bad thing. They call it spirituality when
Mm,
you're against a bad thing. He said, being
mm.
morally right, does it mean one is spiritual?
Okay, so being morally right does not mean you're spiritual. However, to maintain spirituality, you need to be morally right. Do you see the connectivity? Being morally right does not mean you are spiritual. You can be moral and have low level spirituality. And oftentimes you find people like that. They can be moral, they do right thing, they try to avoid bad things, and they still end up being victims. Remember that on the hierarchy of spiritual of the spiritual world, as I mentioned, there are those who want to do wickedness, and those who want to do wickedness, those who take advantage of other people's star, those who do all that, they don't care whether you're moral or you're not moral. The issue is, do you have the capacity to withstand and to resist them? You get. It's not about whether you're morally right. In fact, if you're morally right, you will be someone. So you find some very nice and well-meaning people who still suffer, who still end up being victims. Why? They are moral, they are good, but they do not have spiritual capacity to withstand and to resist bad things, evil people. That's the point. So it's not enough to say I am moral. You also must you can't be at the low level, at the mercy of wicked people and think that your morality is safe. No. You need to be empowered to overcome them. But for you to stay spiritual, you have to keep and maintain a moral life. So that's the connectivity. The morality is good, but it's not enough. And it's not equal to spiritual.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Ma. I think that's the last question we have. Okay. Thank you so much, Barrister. Please, let's appreciate her for the time she has taken
Thank you.
to, explain what spirituality is all about. I hope we now understand, in case you still have, something, entangled when it comes to spirituality. Please, you can drop your question on the WhatsApp group. We'll make sure that thank you, Luabusayo, for that feedback. Please, thank you, Abdul Fattah. I love you guys. Whether you're a boy or a girl, don't worry. I didn't say I want to marry you. I love you guys, okay? I love you guys because you have the energy that is needed for youth. You have the energy, and that's what we need. So thank you so much. Thank you. So if you have any further question for Barrister, it might not just be for
Let me just say
spirituality.
again. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm sorry to burgeon. I just thought to let you know. Believe me, if you need to have further explanation or you want, as I mentioned, I'm going to send in a link for you to indicate where you need mentorship. I have a plethora of young of facilitators and volunteers who are willing to mentor you. And that's why you don't want to deal with people that are not serious. If you're serious and you really want to make progress and you think you need mentoring, whether in spirituality or in any other thing, just once you send things, indicate quickly, and then we'll be able to assign you to some of our faculties that can be of help. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. All right, I don't want to waste most of our time, but we have our game. Please, if you know you're ready for my game, please put it in the chat box. If you're ready for my game, if I don't get like 5, 6, 7, 10 people, to say something, I'll not do this game. Hello. I'm not seeing anything in the chat box. Who is ready for my game? Ademilade, I trust you. My buddy. Okay, Oluwabusayomi. Okay, don't worry. For this game, I'm not going to be saying 5 people, 2 people. Once you have the answer, we need only one winner. Barrister, do you want to explain the winner? Or maybe you can ask more than one question. Okay, no grace for more than one person.
Even we want to contest.
We have questions, so we have several questions. So just in case you want to do more than one winner, I can try to say, okay, 2 people win this game. I'll ask another question.
Today.
2 people, Abby. I can see
Yes,
Esther Balogun smiling. Don't play my game. Please, if you have the answer to my brain teaser, please just lift your hand. As in, be fast. This is what we call fast finger. Be fast to raise your hand. So once I see your hand, bam, I enter.
And or you use the chat box.
Chat box might
not
be fast. The chat box will be faster. Okay. Should we use chat box?
Is better.
Okay, let's use the chat box. If you have the answer, the first person to type the answer, very good. It's brain teaser, so it will tease your brain small. If you want your brain to be teased, please show it in the chat box. If you don't want my brain teaser, I will run.
And we can round up for the day. So
yeah, and we can round up for the day after the game. Oh, yeah, I want someone else. I don't want somebody to go. Oh, great. All right, let me open the chat box so that I can see.
Somebody say it should see.
Yes, okay. My first question. Are you ready? Listen carefully. If you have a problem with my audio, please tell me now. Don't say she's wicked. So a doctor and a bus driver are both in love with the same woman, an attractive girl named Sarah. The bus driver had to go on a long bus trip that would last a week. Before he left, he gave Sarah 7 apples. Why? I'll ask the question again 2 more times. A doctor and a bus driver are both in love with the same woman, an attractive girl named Sarah. The bus driver had to go on a long bus trip that would last a week. Before he left, he gave Sarah 7 apples. Why? Abisoye Bello. I'm so brilliant. Why? I'm so brilliant. Why? Okay. An apple will keep the doctor away. Please use it in the right word. Use it in the right word. Wait, what am I saying first? Oh, Abisoye Bello. She answered the question. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Round of applause. Abisoye Bello got the answer. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Etimoweju. But the first finger was Abisoye Bello. Abisoye Bello, please say I on the WhatsApp group and put it in front. An apple a day. So I will understand that that's what it means. That means you're the winner. Put it on the WhatsApp group, Abisoye Bello. Put hi, then hyphen, an apple a day. So I will understand. Fast finger. I have another question. Wow, this one, people. If you don't crack your brain, that means you are too brilliant. Okay. Let me ask my question. I left my campsite and hiked south for 3 miles. Then I turned east and hiked for 3 miles. I then turned north and I hiked for 3 miles. At which time I came upon a bear inside my tent eating my food. What color was the bear? I'm going to ask again. I left my campsite and hiked south for 3 miles. Then I turned east and hiked for 3 miles. And then turned north and hiked for 3 miles. At which time I came upon a bear inside my tent eating my food. What color was the bear? Fast finger. Fast finger. I left my campsite and hiked south for 3 miles. If you tell me white, please give me reason for your answer. Be fast. I left my campsite and hiked south for 3 miles. Then I turned east and hiked for 3 miles. I then turned north and hiked for 3 miles. At which time I came upon a bear inside my tent eating my food. What color was the bear? Abdul Fattah, why? And what's the name of the bear, Abdul Fattah?
Polar bear.
Oh yeah, ge. Hey, it's a serious matter. This is serious matter. Yes, Oluwabusaya got it too, but Abdul Fattah got it. He said not pole. So they are white bear. They are called polar bear. Oh, what's going on here now? Where have you people been? Why are you in Nigeria? Because you are here to make the nation better, right? Oh yeah. All right. So we have 2 winners. So Abdul Fattah, please go on the WhatsApp group now. Say hi and put in front of it polar bear. Thank you. So that when we want to give you your token, we can know that it is you and not someone else. Congratulations. It's like I've been doing this brain teaser for you people. Okay. So you don't know what to do next week. It might be something that will shake you off your chair where you are. All right, please, this is 1:20. I don't want to waste our time again. Thank you very much. Everyone that participated was still going to be, what's it called? Was still going to be shuffling people. So please, we need your full attention. Like Barrister Sholape said, that she's going to be dropping a link for those who need mentoring. You're going to be, filling some things in that place. That's why we said we need serious people, serious-minded people. So we'll have to call it a day. Whatever information that we have for you or that